but that's what I'm saying though. That goes back to, do you know that you're an asset, or do you think you're a liability? Because most people to themselves say, we talked about it the other day. You used the term. It was along of some. Most people don't know what they began themselves into half of the time, especially when it comes to with caring about their own creativity. Somebody wrote Monopoly. Josh wrote down Monopoly. Everybody hates when it's like, oh, you gotta go to jail. You can bail yourself out of jail too. But most people get so stingy with their money, they still be thinking of what if I run out? I'm just gonna wait in jail, sit in jail for these 3 rolls, or just try to roll doubles. I'm gonna take my chances.
Can't collect no bread. Can't collect no money.
You telling me you just sitting there letting other people buy the properties around you, keep moving ahead in front of you, getting more money, while you like, I'ma sit here because I don't want to spend my money to get out. And I'm not equipped enough to think about my strategy even in this game. I'm just playing Monopoly. Bro, I tell you this, I don't ever just play Monopoly. When I'm in there, John, I'm in there, John. So it's like going back to the initial part. If you can sit down with the exec and you seeing their engagement on you, that can dictate how you play the situation. You just said it. How many people sit down with James Dolan when they sign their contract? He probably do a press conference with the high rookie.
Maybe Derrick Rose, like if you're a franchise like tag, you franchise tag money, yeah, he might check you out.
So he might come, come have dinner with us, I want to tell you how our team is. Boom. If you're not producing the way that he wanted you to produce, after a while, you become a liability to him. You become a liability to yourself, but you still an asset to him. So that's
there you go. Right. There you go. That was it right there. Right.
But how is that capitalism? I'm just trying to figure out, how is this capitalism?
Okay. So I'm gonna bring up the definition and then I'll rock from there. And that's why I shrugged my shoulders when I said capitalism, because I'm not trying to give this a negative connotation. I'm just trying to call it what it is, right? An economic and political system in which a country's trade and industry are controlled by private owners and profits. That's what they say on Google, right? That's cap, right? I'm gonna give it to you. Where is it at? Let's ask it, how does capitalism work? Because that was the most blanketest answer I have ever heard in my life. Let me see, there it goes. All right, so capitalism is often thought of as an economic system in which private actors own and control property in accord with their interests and demand and supply freely set prices in markets in a way that best serve the interest of society, right? So that was like a big fucking sandwich of information in one sentence, right? So let's start off with private actors, right? So in capitalism, the function of it is to be a vehicle for political and financial interest, right? You going back to this asset and liability dynamic that you just mentioned through the basketball element, even when the team is losing, James Dolan's getting paid, and this is why I brought him up, because he's the expert at it, right? In the NBA, at least. So the actors part come in where, like you said, it's the phone calls, it's the conversations, it's the people you really work with. Okay, I'm talking to the mayor, I'm talking to the capital system, I'm talking to the bank, I don't really be needing to talk to the players. Like, why do I need to talk to the players when the money gonna come in from people larger than yourselves, the television companies, other people are interested in putting money in my pocket. The only money I'm making off of a player is the money that I'm making from the market share of the things that I allow to come into this venue, the drinks and other stuff. I'm just getting percentages off everything. So let's go to the next part of the conversation, right?
Real quick, before I cut in one time.
No, yeah, go ahead. We
good. You on one of the main parts, and it answers Josh's question too. 2 things. It's ultimately maximize the consumer's welfare. That's what capitalism, a part of the law definition for it, right? And then the other part is it's a free enterprise. It's capitalism and the free enterprise principles behind it are in contrast to other economies. So it's always based upon what other people got going on too. So like you just said, like James Dolan is a dot, a part of somebody else's dot that's a part of somebody else's dot. So he gonna try to get as many dots as he can too, because he got his family to feed. Which isn't.
Yeah, that's why I said I wasn't trying to make capitalism sound bad.
No, yeah, but that's what this is more. You already know. This is more for the understanding of people. And you said it earlier with the YouTube conversation. If we can't sit here and use these type of words, or literally go on the internet or go through our notes and look for actual information, then for me, some people don't need to sit and listen. Then if you know, you can't sit here and understand this type of language. And this is what we, and I don't mean just me and you, but people that want to understand and learn more information, we have to start with the words that we choose to use for ourselves and what we understand. And like you just said, just going back to the capitalism part, we maximize off the capitalism, but not in a more cultural way instead of a financial way. You gotta stop, yo. You gotta stop.
These is haymakers, man.
You gotta stop.
This is what I be doing when we be on the phone. It's literally what I be like, yo, this nigga, he going in today. So it's like, nah, that was really it though. We capitalize off the culture, but we not in the capitalism system of financially. I mean, I went back to it in the beginning. It's the prairie righteous teacher controversy in our minds. We associate doing the right thing with being poor. You know what I'm saying? It's just ingrained in us that if we're getting money, there has to be something inherently wrong with it. I mean, and think capitalism. That's why I was talking to somebody yesterday, and I was like, this is like a joke, but like I was under every joke is a level of seriousness that I present. It's like I don't even think the world is as bad as a place as people try to spin it on us. I think they just want us to not participate. You know what I mean? Like for me, I'm about to go apply for some credit for a business, and going back to James Dolan, that nigga hasn't raised a winning team in 3 decades. If he's allowed to fuck up some money, so am I. Right? Because what it says in here is the best interest of serving society. The best interest of American society is debt. They love the debt shit. Whatever they get, whatever debt they can use to leverage to get somebody else to back it, that's what makes this financial system run. And on top of the demand and supply, freely set prices, right? I don't think people recognize, like, to get into a playoff game, to sit and watch basketball players, you could pay $10,000, $30,000, $50,000. Somebody just set that price based on the demand of who wanted to be there. You know what I mean? So I'm like, that's why I don't go against capitalism, because what you said in the John is like, I think in the definition you provided is like, that's our economic system, and it's very different than other people's economic system. It's not similar to anybody's economic system. The rest of the world don't operate like this, but they definitely use, this goes back to the James Dolan part. They'll call James Dolan to do it and then just make some money from it. That's where he makes his money, is being the person who's willing to do the actions of capitalism that are a property in accord with other people's interests, right?
The acting part of it. You just brought that.
Yeah, that's the acting part of it.